This is Leonard Louma, the Deputy Team Leader for the MSG observation group in the recent Vanuatu election. He's still here, so we're still picking his mind on an observation on a lot of things, particularly around the MSG leaders' mandate for always having a team to observe elections in MSG member countries, and secondly, his general observation on the recent Vanuatu election. Now, so what's your observation on the mandate that leaders has given MSG to always have a team to observe elections? Yeah.
Thank you, Acting Director General. I think it's important to remember that our leaders, in their desire to improve the political systems that we have, the good governance systems that we have taken decisions to assist each other in improving those political institutions and those good governance institutions that we have in our membership countries. And as you are aware, an integral part of that political process is elections. And our leaders have taken a decision to agree that we mount election observer group to observe elections when elections are held in any one of the respective countries. In this case, Vanuatu held its elections on 19th March. They extended an invitation to the MSG Secretariat and the MSG group to organize an observer group. By the way, this is not the first observer group that has been organized by the MSG to observe elections. MSG has, in the past, covered the Fiji elections, the Papua New Guinea elections, even, I think, and you'll have to correct me on that one, Director General, we've had our officers go to New Caledonia to even observe the referendums that have taken place there. So it's an ongoing work of the MSG Secretariat. And for me, I must say that it's something that we should be committed to. And I'm proud that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, while other international observers pulled out, the MSG as a group decided explicitly to remain in the country to cover the 2020 Vanuatu general elections. I think that demonstrates a very strong commitment to implement our leaders' decisions despite the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm glad that we maintained a team on the ground. And I'm also pleased to state publicly and on record that I think if there is any international observer group that can claim that they have covered the Vanuatu elections extensively, it will be the MSG observer group. We covered 6 of the 18 constituencies. That constitutes actually a third of all the constituencies in Vanuatu. We covered that. We covered 6 of the 7 largest constituencies in Vanuatu. I think Efate was the only one we didn't cover, but the other 6 largest constituencies we covered. So our observations, I can venture to suggest anybody wanting to find out about what transpired in the 2020 Vanuatu general elections, they should really read the report of the MSG teams. The elections itself, I think everybody is aware, that they went very smoothly without major incidents. The voters in all the polling stations that we visited, including the ones that you covered here in Efate and the sort of Port Vila urban constituency. The voters went in peacefully, orderly. They were assisted by the polling officials to express their preferences on who they prefer to be their leaders in the 12th Vanuatu Parliament. And they did it in the secrecy which is what the process demands. So I think whatever the election results that have come out of this process, we should all endorse as representative of the true wishes and desires of the Vanuatu voters. The results itself was out of the 52 members of Parliament. Because the Vanuatu Parliament consists of 52 members. About 25 are new members. 25 are new members of Vanuatu. That represents, I think, a turnover of about 48%. 48%. Just for comparative purposes, in Papua New Guinea, in elections, there's a turnover of about over 60%. Over 60%. So that's a trend that perhaps future observation teams might want to just keep an eye on. Unfortunately, in these elections, 17 women presented themselves as candidates. Unfortunately, none of them was able to win a seat. Again, in terms of independence, the independence group did not secure a seat in this 12th Vanuatu Parliament. So those are two groupings that future observer teams may want to keep an eye on to see whether the trend will continue or not with respect to independence and the gender efforts of the government to have women included and voted into Parliament. In terms of voter turnout, I think that's one area that we observed as a MSG observer teams. We observed that in this year, the 2020 Vanuatu general elections is a bit of a unique situation because you had the COVID-19, which really made people fear gathering in big groups. The second one was the weather. In some parts of the country, the weather was so bad that people were not able to get to the polling stations to vote. But the observation that was made by all our teams was that there is a gradual decline and drop in the voting turnout. In fact, according to the official statistics that we've gleaned through, we've been able to determine that approximately 51.29% of the registered voters turned out to vote in this year's general elections. 51.29, which is in contrast to the 2016 snap elections. The snap elections gave us a figure of about 66%. So there is a drop in the turnout, and I think for any government, not only for Vanuatu, but if that happens in any of our other members, that is something that should get our governments to see if they can get the registered voters to turn on.
Yeah, any final thoughts on what's the process now? You have a report, and it will the report from here to where, and any final thoughts on where the Secretariat could?
I think, Acting Director General, the good thing about what our leaders have actually mandated the Secretariat to do in arranging and organizing the MSG Observer team, is that the intention behind it is that the reports would be then channeled through to our governments in the hope that our governments would look through them, look at the recommendations that have been made in the report, and see where and how they can best adopt the recommendations that they are able to implement, with a view to, I think that's an important point to make, with a view to improving the good governance systems that we have in place, the political systems that we have in place. And I'm happy to say that the report has been already provided by the Secretariat, and once ready, you will be in a position to submit that to the Vanuatu government, and then we are hoping that the Vanuatu government and their officials will be able to then glean through the report, determine what issues that they might be able to take up, and hopefully they can call on you and the staff to sit down with them and discuss how best to implement some of the recommendations that we have made in the report.
We'll go through that. Yeah. Thank you, Leonard. It was a pleasure having you here and still here as the deputy head of the mission, and we wish you well. We wish you well as you wait to January.